men will be more successful with the right partner, with the right wife. Because there's evidence to suggest that men would be more successful when they have a supporting and understanding partner. And the right wife can provide a range of benefits that can help a man achieve success. I mean, both personally and professionally, and in whatever time period it happens to be. So irrespective of the time period. You know, some men, especially the successful ones, think that as they're already doing well on their own, they don't need a wife to help them, and might even think that they'll get in the way of their business and their career. I'm sure you heard that before, and for the men out there, I guess you might have thought of that yourself. Because with that in mind, many then just want casual relationships for purely physical purposes. I mean, why else would you want casual relationships? However, what they don't think of is that they can be even more successful with the right wife who can provide support, both emotionally and work-wise. I mean, a supportive wife can firstly provide motivation and encouragement. With her encouragement, it helps you stay focused and motivated in pursuing your career and your goals. And this is especially important for men, you know, who may feel pressured to succeed and those that struggle with self-doubt. So in that instance, the supportive wife provides that emotional and psychological support. I mean, a supportive wife can provide a safe space for you to confide in and receive emotional support. Look, frankly, you know, if you've got issues with your business or in corporate, you know, I know the games that they played, and it's very hard to know who you can turn to or discuss with. You cannot discuss with any other colleagues in there, your work colleagues, because you cannot trust them. That's as plain as simple. So you should be able to discuss it with your wife. Because remember, you and her, by and large, are in the same boat together. So what happens to you would also happen to her, and she has to understand that. And if she does, that would be very good and very important to you, to your career. You know, she can also provide practical support in addition to the emotional support. This can include helping with household chores and childcare responsibilities, so allowing you to focus on your work and career. So don't worry, you just focus on your business or career and bringing in the money, okay, as much as you can, and I'll take care of everything else in the house, at home. Okay, so that means cooking, cleaning, and the kids. Also, the right wife can enable you to become successful quickly, or if you already are successful, enable you to become even more successful. And perhaps an easier way to explain this is to use the caveman analogy again. You see, back in the Stone Age, survival depended on how well a man can hunt, and it was mostly men that did it due to, you know, men being physically stronger, and hunting is a physical thing. It's a physical activity. So the more successful a man was at hunting, the more food he was able to provide and make available, and the more he could support his family. Yeah. However, during the winter season, there is less game around available to hunt, and conditions make it more difficult. I mean, who wants to have to get up and go into the snow and the cold to go searching for game and hunting? And therefore, it was best to have something to preserve, you know, enough meat preserved, so to get you by this winter season and the leaner times. So there's always something to fall back on. So you can go out and hunting during winter, but it's not critical. And that's what you want. Okay? And also, as you can only do one thing at a time, this means that you, as the hunter, would need to take time off from hunting to do the skinning and preserving. So you're going to have less time to go out and doing the hunt, and so we'll bring in less game and less food in. what you need then is not a second hunter, but you need someone to do the skinning and the preserving. So you can then devote all your time and concentration on hunting and bringing in more game. And the more time you spend doing it, the better the hunter you will be. Okay, so you don't have to think about or worry about anything else other than hunting, because someone's looking after all the other stuff, and principally the skinning and preserving. Now, this analogy is the same in modern life. I mean, you go to work, and because you're on your own, you have to try to find time to handle all the finances and everything else as well. There's lots of men in this day and age. Life is more complicated. There's so much we have to do. Have you lodged your tax return yet? Remember to do that, or pay your phone bill, or mortgage rates have come up. Have you went and searched for a better deal? Do you have time to do that? You have the time to take off work to go to do that. And it's difficult when you're working full-time 5 days a week and the banks are open during the working week. So it's hard. It's hard to do that. And as you can only spare a small amount of time to do everything, it means that you're not going to be able to look after your finances as well. And in addition, your focus is going to be divided between your work or your job and looking into investments or handling all the other admin. And most of all, investments to grow your money, because that takes time to do. However, if you had a life partner, meaning a wife, her job will then be to handle all the finances and make the money you bring in stretch as far as she can. And if she was more capable, then she'll be able to grow the money by making good investments with the money you brought in. And this analogy is like that of the Stone Age in regards to you brought in game, she cuts a piece out of it, out of the meat you brought in, and she's used that as bait to catch fish, a lot more fish to bring in, and to increase your food supply by that way. So that's the analogy in the Stone Age, how she can grow the money, grow the food back then and grow the money with what you brought in. So clearly you don't need another hunter, but someone to do the skinning and preserving and hopefully be able to grow the food supply with her skills. And so in modern times, how that translates is that you don't need her to bring in another income, but to manage the money and hopefully to be able to grow it if she was more capable. And this is a trait you need to look for and identify, which I will go through in a later show. You only ever need another hunter if game becomes scarce. So you need another hunter in order to cover more terrain because there's fewer game out there. And the analogy for this in modern times is that you need your partner to work and bring in another income, because conditions are that your income alone isn't enough to make ends meet as it is. I mean, look at it now, like I've gone through. Unfortunately, it's the case where both parties have to work, and they're pretty exhausted with children and that. But however, if normally the woman does make less than the man, then she can spend more of her time doing all the admin stuff and looking after the finances. That's also her job, because all those stuff you need someone who has good attention to detail, all the nitty-gritty and so forth. And women are generally better at it than men, which was evidence the case. You see a lot more females being secretaries and PAs, personal assistant, than you see men, because women are better at it. So if that's the case, whoever's better at something, let them do it. Let them utilize their natural ability. There's nothing wrong with that. And then the woman, because she's in charge of the finances, there is not that power imbalance, as most people say about traditional marriage, or the woman's just is staying home with the men working, because she's got hold of all the finances. Okay, and however, on the flip side too, is that it's very important that you can trust the person where that's in charge of the finances. So for men, it's very crucial that you find the woman with the right mindset. And that, I guess, it starts from being frugal itself. And if someone's frugal and looks after your money, and especially if they're able to grow it, your money that you brought in, you would not mind at all being the main provider. In fact, if you saw what she was doing, you try to bring in more money. Here, there's more. More, continue doing it. It's great what you're doing. Here's more. You wouldn't mind at all, wouldn't you? Yeah, and you try even harder to bring in even more money because that, and absolutely no resentment on your part. You'll be so happy she's doing that. And so that's how you can have with the right partner, with the right wife, you become even more successful and less stressed overall. Because especially, look, 2 hands are always going to be better than one. Okay, being on your own, one place at a time, being able to do only one thing at a time, one set of skills, and one way of looking at things. Though, yes, I did say that at the moment it is more difficult with both partners having to work. But like I said, if one partner doesn't really have to work as hard as the other partner, that then okay, then it would allow her time to do all the other admin stuff as well. And manage the finances, find the best deals, and so forth, so you don't get you ripped off or overcharged or whatever. And then, learn how to be more able to grow your money. And so for that, it's very important to find the right partner. Because to be successful, both parties have to have the same mindset and the right mindset and be capable. So for men, yes, you're better off on your own than with the wrong partner. However, nothing beats life with the right partner. Far better than you can ever be on your own. So if you want a partner with that, remember you have to choose on that basis, on that criteria. She has to be able to manage money, and her skills have to be able to be even better in order to grow it if you want her to do that. Okay, but the main, I guess, the very base skill that she needs to have, or base quality, is that she has to be frugal.